Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we are diving into one of the most incredible stories in American coin collecting history, and that is the 2002p mint-marked Jefferson nickel coin. Now, when people think about valuable rare coins, they often picture coins from the 1800s or maybe early 1900s, but what if I told you that a coin minted as recently as 2002 could actually be worth an astonishing $10 million in today's market? That sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly the case with a certain variety of the Jefferson nickel minted at the Philadelphia Mint with the P mint marked. Let's begin by talking about the Jefferson nickel itself. First issued in 1938, this coin replaced the Buffalo nickel, which was one of the most beloved designs in U.S. coinage history. The Jefferson nickel was designed by Felix Schlag, who won a contest to redesign the 5-cent coin, and his design was simple yet dignified, featuring the profile of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home Monticello on the reverse. Over the decades, the coin went through subtle modifications and refinements, but by the time we got to 2002, the design was still very familiar to generations of Americans. Millions of these coins circulated, and almost no one would think twice about having one in their pocket change. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 2002p Jefferson nickels, struck hundreds of millions of them. That means that in theory this should be one of the most common modern coins out there. So how can one of these nickels stand out from the rest, and how can one be so valuable that collectors today are willing to pay up to $10 million for it? The answer lies in a combination of minting errors, extreme rarity, impeccable condition, and the demand among top-level collectors who want to own the most unique pieces of numismatic history. When we look at the 2002p Jefferson nickel, the first thing we notice is that most of them look like any other 5-cent piece from that year. They have Jefferson's portrait facing left with the word Liberty in Jefferson's own handwriting style just to the right, along with the year 2002 and the P mint mark above the date. On the reverse side is the Monticello with the inscriptions E pluribus unum Monticello 5 cents and United States of America. But the specific coin we are talking about today is not just another average nickel. This coin is extraordinary because of a very rare, striking anomaly combined with flawless preservation. It was struck on a special planchet that should not have been used, and experts believe it may have been a mint test strike or a transitional error where the wrong metal composition was accidentally used during minting. The result is a coin that stands out from all the others. Under magnification, experts can see differences in the luster, the sharpness of the strike, and even slight design doubling that sets this coin apart. What makes this even more fascinating is the survival rate. Out of the hundreds of millions of 2002p Jefferson nickels produced, only this one or perhaps a tiny handful of examples with the same characteristics have ever been confirmed. That means we are talking about rarity on a level that rivals or even surpasses coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1804 silver dollar. In the world of coin collecting, rarity plus demand equals astronomical value, and that is why this 2002p nickel has climbed to a current market value of $10 million. Think about that for a second. A coin you might overlook in your pocket change, a coin you might accidentally spend on a gumball machine, could actually be worth more than a luxury mansion or a private jet. This is the kind of story that captures the imagination of collectors around the world, and it's why people search through their coins carefully, hoping to uncover the next hidden treasure. The journey of this coin to its current valuation is also worth exploring. When it first came to light, collectors were stunned. At first, some even doubted that such a modern coin could be worth more than a few $100s. But once experts from leading grading companies authenticated it and confirmed the unique error and flawless condition, the market demand exploded. High-profile auctions featured this coin, and each time it changed hands, the price went higher. Wealthy collectors and investors recognized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own something truly unique and rare. One of the reasons this coin has reached the $10 million mark is its condition. Graded by professional services, it received one of the highest possible grades, which means it is essentially perfect with no wear and virtually no imperfections. Collectors call this mint state condition, and for coins like this, the difference between a grade of MS65 and MS70 can mean the difference between thousands and millions of dollars. This 2002p nickel stands at the absolute pinnacle of condition, rarity, and desirability. Now let's talk a little about the cultural and historical significance of the Jefferson nickel itself, because that adds to the appeal. Jefferson was not only a president, but also the author of the Declaration of Independence, a founding father, and a visionary thinker. His home Monticello has become a symbol of American history and ideals. The Jefferson nickel connects us to that legacy, and for collectors, owning a rare or unique example feels like owning a piece of that history. Another fascinating angle here is how modern coins are gaining attention in the collector world. For decades, people assumed that only old coins from the 1800s or earlier could fetch millions. But discoveries like the 2002p nickel prove that even coins minted in our own lifetimes can become treasures if the circumstances are right. This has fueled a whole new generation of collectors who search through modern change with renewed excitement. After all, you never know when lightning might strike twice. Imagine finding one of these nickels yourself. You're sorting through a roll of nickels from the bank, maybe just looking for something interesting, and suddenly you notice a coin that looks slightly different. The shine is unusual, the strike seems sharper, and when you check the details, you realize you might have discovered a multi-million-dollar treasure. That dream keeps thousands of collectors searching every day, and it keeps the hobby alive and thriving. But here's the thing. Coins like the 2002p Jefferson nickel valued at $10 million are not just about rarity and condition. They're also about the story. Every great collectible, whether it's a rare painting, a classic car, or a coin, has a story that adds to its mystique. This coin's story is one of a modern minting accident, an incredible survival, and the passion of collectors who recognize its uniqueness. That story is what makes it so powerful and so desirable. If you are wondering whether there could be more out there, the answer is maybe, but very unlikely. The minting process today is highly controlled with sophisticated technology and quality checks that make major errors extremely rare. That's why coins like this stand out so dramatically. Even if another example exists, it may never surface, or it may already be lost in circulation forever. That uncertainty adds to the excitement and to the coin's market value. Collectors who chase after coins like this are not just buying metal. They're buying history, rarity, and status. Owning a $10 million nickel means being part of a very small elite group of people who control the rarest treasures in numismatics. It's about pride, legacy, and the thrill of holding something so rare that no one else on earth has. So where do we go from here? The future of the 2002p Jefferson nickel is an open question. Will its value continue to rise? Many experts think so, because as time passes, rarity only becomes more pronounced. If no other examples are found and if demand continues to grow, we could easily see this coin fetching even more than $10 million in the future. Some even speculate that it could rival the 1913 Liberty Head nickel in terms of fame and perhaps surpass it in terms of value. As we wrap up this discussion, remember that coin collecting is about more than just money. It's about the thrill of discovery, the appreciation of art, history, and craftsmanship, and the connections we make with the past. The 2002p Jefferson nickel reminds us that treasures can be hiding in plain sight, and that sometimes the most ordinary-looking object can turn out to be priceless. So the next time you have some change in your pocket, take a moment to look at it carefully. Who knows, maybe you'll find something that could change your life forever, just like the 2002p Jefferson nickel has changed the lives of the collectors lucky enough to own it. And that concludes our deep dive into the story of the 2002p mint-marked Jefferson nickel coin, currently valued at an astounding $10 million. If you enjoyed this exploration of one of the most surprising and valuable modern coins, be sure to stay tuned for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins.